we continue on reflections around Youth Month. Now, young people in South Africa are facing many challenges, with unemployment topping the list. Now, despite this, a lot of them keep pushing against these barriers. One of them is Daniel Kazadi. Now, he's making strides by venturing into property investment, a sector where young people are very rare in sight. Also, a territory that is not for the faint-hearted. This young go-getter secured his first property sale at the age of 19. So as we observe National Youth Month, we have invited Daniel Kazadi, a young professional property educator and investor, who joins us right now in studio. Welcome to it, Mr. Kazadi. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. And
yeah.
Good morning to all the viewers as well.
Yeah, so you secured your very first property sale at 19, right? How did you get into property?
No, definitely. I think after my matric, I was quite confused about my life, what I wanted to do. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I attended a couple of seminars. I educated myself, and I met a man that later became my property coach, Andrew Walker. Andrew took me under his wing. Andrew's the CEO of the SA Property Investors Network, and he taught me everything I know about property investments and entrepreneurship, how to raise financing, build a business. And I later just shadowed Andrew, and he taught me one of the strategies that I then pursued. That deal you speak of was known as a flip. It was my first one, but it took me a while to actually get my first one over the line. A lot of hard work and had to be creative with regards to it.
And tell you what, you just touched on a very familiar read with all of us, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And how did that sort of inform the way you move around and do business? Basically, just how you were socialized within the business and property space.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of the people that would have read that book. There's a lot of teaching. So it's a man called Robert Kiyosaki, who was brought up by two parents, a rich father and a poor father. And he details the different mentalities within the two parents and the different things he had to look at. So what that book did for me was just set my mindset right to enable me to understand that if I'm going to play a part in this industry or play a part in business, I need to focus on high-yielding, performing assets. That led me towards property.
And you're an accounting graduate.
Yes.
Let's talk about the benefits of higher education and how this actually helped you in shaping the person that you've become in the property space as well.
No, definitely. I think a lot of individuals do come to me, and especially young individuals wanting to, say, drop out of school, wanting to not pursue tertiary level education. My opinion, and it's only my opinion, tertiary level education provides you the platform to do anything you want to be. So in my case, while I was fighting with the investments, so I almost had two jobs. I was a student part-time, and during the night I'd go out and I'd work on investments. Something that accounting taught me was principle around budgeting, financing, and a view of money, and it helps me keep my team accountable as well. So the bookkeepers that we have on board, I've got a level of understanding on the work they're doing, and I can just manage them effectively.
And let's talk about the importance of having mentorship, because most young people really don't pay mind to the fact that in whatever space that they get into, they might have to be asking and learning the ropes from people that have been there before them. Let's talk about the importance of actually having people that you look up to, but most importantly, people that are there to help you on the journey. I
think that's extremely important. Mentorship has played such a vital role in my life and the lives of many other individuals. So one of my favorite quotes is, smart people learn from their own mistakes, but even sharper individuals learn from other people's mistakes. So what a mentor allows you to do is he's an individual that has walked the path before you, has accomplished what you seek to accomplish, and or she is a person that can fast track your journey and not only show you the ropes, but show you what to avoid. I was privileged when I started. Like I said, Andrew Walker took me under his wing. There were other individuals that shaped my career, amongst those Rally Mampule and his amazing foundation that played a huge part. But mentors just paved the way for you to enable you to create a platform for you to go further than them even.
Let's touch on some of the unique challenges that you face as a young person in this space.
Definitely. I think in terms of the investment side of things, one of the biggest difficulties that myself and other youngsters face when we start off towards acquiring assets and going towards being a property investor, number one is things like transfer costs, transfer duties. Hey, I was faced with the realization that yes, just because the bank gives you 100% bond doesn't mean that there aren't other costs that comes with it. There's transfer costs, legal fees that come in play with it, that other individuals are soon looking at as well. Other things is the high interest rates. I mean, the property industry, especially for individuals that came and bought properties during the time of COVID, when interest rates were as low as 7%. Now the repayments are about 11.75%. And we spoke with one of our partners at an event, Absa Bank, where we see that if your bond was about 10,000 Rand back then in 2019 or 2020, you're in a situation where it's 14,000 Rand now, so it's increased by 40%. And the cost of your rent would not have increased that much as well. So that's one of the many, I'd say, barriers of entries for a lot of young individuals. It comes with the high costs of acquiring assets and properties in particular.
Now, this is quite a cutthroat industry that needs one to possess a range of collective skills in order for them to really sort of conquer this industry. And what are some of those skills that you possess?
Definitely, I'd say the ability to run due diligence. And what I mean by due diligence, if you're going to be buying properties for investments, you need to be able, trained and capable enough to understand what you're getting yourself into. So number one, how much rent can you charge for this unit? I'll be basic. How much rent do you charge? And does your rent cover all the monthly expenses, the bond, the levies, the rates and taxes and everything that comes with it? I think you need to understand that as professional property investors, you make your money when you buy a property, not 30 years later when you decide to sell it. So due diligence is very important. Area research, right? Doing your research on, is this area appreciating in value, depreciating in value? That's a very, very handy tool to understand if you're going to be playing a part in this industry. I'd say those are probably the top two, I'd say.
And just a quick one, words of encouragement to young people who are thinking of taking that leap of faith and stepping into this sector.
No, definitely. I think property provides so many opportunities for young people out there. And if anything, we're hoping for more young people playing a part, not just as investors, as other things as well. Because property, there's so many career paths, from investors to town planners and playing a part in developing special development framework that allows us to address a lot of issues we face in the country, like the housing shortages. So I'd say definitely take the leap of faith. Investing in property is amazing, but please educate yourself. Understand what could go wrong and safeguard yourself against everything that could go wrong. And I'd say, yeah, you're going to make a huge success of it.
Listen, Daniel Kazadi, thanks so much for your time. And he is, of course, a professional property educator and investor. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.